to see you.
And you as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. We are here today for our District 103 Toastmasters Senior Advisor webinar series. I am your facilitator, two-time distinguished Toastmaster and past district director, Cassandra Lee, also known as the Diva of Dialogue. I'm known as the Diva of Dialogue because I use divine inspiration vocally applied to educate and empower my audiences towards personal growth and career success. I welcome you to our session today. Our session today is all about understanding reports on the Toastmasters International dashboard. TI is what we call Toastmasters International. Toastmasters International has a dashboard that we will investigate on today. The dashboard session for today is, I say, an extension of what we did last month. We had the opportunity to explore the dashboard last month with a different program that was all about the SWOT, understanding your club SWOT using the Toastmasters International dashboard. Well, today we're going to focus more on the actual reports, the reports that the dashboard offers, and you will have the opportunity to learn more about those reports. This actual session, I say actually the entire program itself, the D103 Senior Advisor webinar series, I say was actually born out of my passion for teaching through speaking. I've been a member of Toastmasters for quite some time at both the club level and the district level. I've been doing various education sessions using my public speaking and communication skills to teach through speaking. Yet I've also had the opportunity of using my mission of education and empowerment. I think as you go throughout this program, you're going to find that the way I've structured this interactive workshop is to give you not only the education or the information regarding how to understand the TI dashboard, I am also giving you empowerment. I am going to make certain that you have the opportunity to ask questions along the way, that you get the chance to really infuse this session with your questions, your comments, and also your knowledge. Although I recognize I'm bringing to you from my experience some of my knowledge about the dashboard, I know that you too have experience, and I'm looking forward to us all sharing and learning from one another. Speaking of sharing and learning from one another, this entire program of the D103 Senior Advisor Series actually came about with the team, or as we like to call them, the trio. The 2019-2020 trio of Ivory Gwynn, the gentleman in the middle, Joe McCarty, the gentleman on the right, or I should say the gentleman on my left, on your left, and then the gentleman on the right is Greg Thompson, Club Growth Director. When Ivory was the district director and Joe was the program quality director and Greg was the club growth director, we all had a conversation about the members, the leaders, whether at the club level or the district level, they were in need of more information. What we were finding were questions that were being asked. Sometimes club members didn't know certain things that we thought were basic points of information they should know, or we were having club leaders or district leaders needing to know more about how to do something. And what we were recognizing was the fact, as much as we like to provide as many training sessions as possible, or as many sessions at our club district leadership events for club officer trainings, we simply were not sharing enough of the information that the members were seeking. Sometimes at those district conferences or the club officer training events, there were details that we sometimes were missing simply because we didn't include it as a workshop, or we might not have thought about it at all. Therefore, in a conversation, Ivory had already nicknamed me his senior advisor, and he had already appointed me to his team that year to support him and his trio, as well as all of the district leaders of his team. And he asked if I would consider becoming the go-to person for training, for additional training, supplemental training, complementary training to the training that was already happening within the district. Therefore, the opportunity to be able to provide members with something that they could touch, they could review, they could go back to if needed. They did not have to wait for a 6-month event to show up. And in essence, that's how this program became what it is. It, I say, was an opportunity for me as the senior advisor who was already being slated and appointed to advise and guide and mentor and train and support, that it just simply gave me an opportunity to do a little bit more of that for everyone within the district and even beyond. This example of today's session, for instance, being able to understand the reports on the TI dashboard is simply one of those examples of the District 103 Senior Advisor webinar series. In essence, anytime you hear, you see, you read about the D103 Senior Advisor webinar series, what you're learning about, or I should say, what you are experiencing is basically a collection of live webinar events covering topics ranging from new member growth, district leadership, club building, pathways, team building, conflict resolution, club quality, member retention, distinguished club program, professional speaking, technical skills, and more. Did you notice the wide range of topics there? That's because, as we've learned over the years with this program, we are providing the topics that we are wanting to make certain are supporting our members, our club leaders, and our district leaders to be better speakers, communicators, and leaders for not only their clubs, yet for also their careers. This program I typically do on the day of the week that starts the week. I typically do it on a Sunday. Simply that way, I can step away from interfering with any other programming that the district may have. I also make certain that I record these events. Therefore, if someone cannot attend on a Sunday, they have the opportunity to review the recording, and it's there for future use as well. We tend to make it a 90-minute interactive session, which means you get the chance to ask questions. You get the chance to put your comments in the chat box, speak by microphone, your thoughts. You are able to be a part of the process of this program as well. Therefore, it's not only me sharing a lot of details, you get to be a part of this experience as well. And that's what we were finding were some of the comments with our members. They would say they go to a training and they don't have the chance to really participate. They're simply listening to a talking head as opposed to being engaged and interacting in the sessions. Therefore, we designed this program to allow more interaction. Each month, the topic does change, and the topic, as I said before, typically ranges from club membership, club quality, something for the members specifically related to public speaking or communication or leadership. And it could also be something that is dealing with the quality of your club. We basically take a look at the needs and the desire. So the needs might be we have a Toastmasters International deadline coming up or a District 103 event that's happening, and we want to make certain that we can do a session here that helps to support that. Or it could simply be the desire of the members, meaning their interests, their inquiries, whether they're at the club level or the district level. We make the attempt to listen and put together programming that helps to support that. Each year, I typically consult with the current district director and the program quality director to determine the topics that we'll cover. Therefore, you might recognize some of the topics this year we didn't do before in the past, but then some of the topics this year are a repeat because those are topics that come up every year. We base it off of my experience and my knowledge combined with the current leadership's recommendations, along with the desires of the club members and the club leaders, and the district leaders, and we make the attempt to meet the needs of whatever's happening, whether it's at the club level, district level, or the international level. Typically, I say that's how all of the sessions in this program are born. And I mentioned that this is a program that has been happening. We are now, I believe, in year number 5 of doing this type of supplemental training to our district programming. There are replays that you can watch. Like I mentioned, last month's session was on the Toastmasters International dashboard. However, we use the dashboard as a way to find out the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of your club. If you're interested in that program, I say check out the replays where you are able to actually see those videos. And I say videos because we did that program in 2 parts. Therefore, there is a part 1 video and a part 2 video. You can scan the QR code or you can use the link. And what I will make certain that I do as I'm mentioning link, let me grab that link and I am going to put that inside of the chat box. Simply that way you can have it for future reference. Let's see if that goes through. I'm not liking how that looked. Although I appreciate when Zoom does updates, sometimes the updates are not quite exactly what we're looking for. Therefore, here we are. That's the link for the replays. And again, you can see replays from back in 2019 on up until this year as well. Now that you have the information about the actual sessions, let me share some details with you about me. What most people know about me is the fact that I am a 2-time distinguished Toastmaster. I am also the first district director of District 103 Toastmasters. Many people also know that I am a member. My home club is the Wrightwood Ashburn Overcomers Wayo Toastmasters Club. And people recognize me from being the facilitator of the D103 Train the Trainer event, which helps to provide D103 with preferred trainers. What some people may not know, though, is that I've been a member of Toastmasters for over 25 years, and I started in a corporate club, not a community club. I started with the ABA Speakeasies. It was there with the ABA Speakeasies that I became involved in Toastmasters not only to develop my communication and leadership skills, more importantly, to develop my leadership skills very specifically. And I have to say, 6 months within joining, my leadership skills got tested immediately because I became the club secretary and the club treasurer. 2 years later, I eventually became not just the club vice president of education, but also the club president. And that was during a really weird time. Our membership was decreasing. The members who were actively involved had a huge workload. There were many individuals that were no longer coming to meetings, and some of them were not even renewing their active participation. Even though the company was paying for our membership, people were simply not able to attend due to their time, their workload commitment, or their interest. Some people, I believe, just simply no longer saw the benefit of being a part of Toastmasters to become a better communicator and leader. Therefore, some people made the decision to not stay. And before we realized it, our club was actually low in membership. It was low in membership to the point where it was looking pretty dangerous there. I think nowadays we use the terminology of struggling club. I don't remember if that was the terminology that we were using during that time, but during that time, we had less than 8 members who were showing up to meetings, and we were a struggling club, making the attempt to stay open. I had to figure some things out. I'm in the leadership role of vice president of education, and no one's really coming to meetings. So, how do we do events that help them to become better speakers, communicators, and leaders? I also was the president in charge of the administration of the club. And it was getting a little tight there with trying to figure out how can we make this club grow. I had to tap into resources. At the time, we had leadership manuals. Toastmasters International now calls them the Club Leadership Handbook. I tell you, the Leadership Handbook was a great resource. The leadership manuals were extremely helpful. They allow us to figure out what we could do. My goal was to make sure our club did not close. The mission, though, that I had was even more important, and that was making sure the club could stick around as a professional development resource for all of the employees of the company and even the guests who could join from the outside to be a part of the club. It was real tight there, but I learned to use the resources of Toastmasters International, being the manuals, the area governor, who's now known as the area director, and even Toastmasters International themselves, TI. Yes, WHQ, or as we nickname them, World Headquarters, was also a resource. With them being a resource, I eventually later learned to use what you are going to learn to use today, and that is the Toastmasters International dashboard. Having that knowledge about this session, being about you learning how to use the Toastmasters International dashboard, I'm actually curious to know what brought you here today. What is your reason for attending? Now, some of you are more than likely members, and not only members, you are more than likely leaders of your club as well. Therefore, feel free to use the chat box and let me know, what club do you belong to? Now, if you are a guest, you can simply just say you're a guest. Yet I'm curious to know, what brought you here to this session today? What are you hoping to learn about understanding the TI dashboard? I'm going to pause for a moment and I'm going to give you a chance to put inside of the chat box your reason for being here today. I love it. I'm seeing in the chat box, Heinz Verbal Aces is represented. Club growth is the reason being here today. Thank you for that. Refresher. I like seeing the refresher, meaning you have some experience with it already. You know more about the dashboard than probably most people, yet today is a refresher for you. I'm seeing tricks about the dashboard, wanting to know some of the tricks about the dashboard. I think there is a trick or two, or a gem as I like to call them there. And I'm also loving the fact that I'm seeing wanting to learn more about the dashboard to help with presenting when I am onboarding new members. That's a unique way of looking at the dashboard. I would also recommend, when onboarding new members, I think what we did last month with understanding the SWOT of your club, that's going to be a great resource for you. Definitely check out the replay for those videos. Let's see, as I'm continuing to walk through, or I should say, as I'm continuing to look through the chat box, I see walking away with more knowledge about the reports that you have to access, along with wanting to know exactly what the reports are that need to be submitted and how to do a report. Hmm. Now, I think with what we're sharing here, you're going to find that it's not so much about you completing a report and submitting a report. It is primarily data that Toastmasters International is tracking with your club. I think that'll make more sense once we get into the content of the session for today. Yet, with what everyone has said, I think between our exploration and review of the dashboard, you're truly going to walk away with some key information. We have two main purposes. What I learned when I was working with my club, my corporate club, when I was helping to revitalize that club and make certain that club did not die out. I had to do a lot of exploration, and I called it being an investigator. I had to get my hands on as many resources as possible, from people resources to book and paper resources, to really understand what was going on with this organization. Therefore, today, when we are exploring the Toastmasters International dashboard, or as they are known officially by the name of the Distinguished Performance Reports, you will learn more about the distinguished performance reports and how those reports are really assisting you with having more knowledge about your club, and why I also say it's data that Toastmasters International is tracking on your club. The second component of what we're doing today is the review. Now, the review is tied to the interactivity. I am going to make certain that I put inside of the chat box for everyone, just in case you didn't get it from me via email, I am going to provide you with the handout for today. As I get the handout for today and put it inside of the chat box for you, I want you to recognize that as we are reviewing the dashboard, I will be bringing attention, or bringing to mind for you and bringing to your attention, multiple reports. The handout is going to help with tracking what those reports are and what those reports will allow you to do. Again, I mentioned the reports are not so much of what you have to fill out and submit to Toastmasters International. That will be more like an area visit report. Area visit reports allow you, especially if you are an area director, you would visit your clubs, you would fill out the form, you then would submit that form to Toastmasters International. The reports here are a little bit different. These, again, are documents that may have come in that's allowing some tracking to occur, and then it could just simply be that they're tracking from the data they're receiving. That'll all, again, make sense once we get there. Speaking of making sense, these are the various reports that we're going to look at, which means we're going to look at reports that tracks details about dues renewals, both in April and October. October. So dues renewals in April and October. The club officer list, the submissions of those, whether it's in January or July. We will take a look at the education achievements document, or as I like to call it, the document, but really it's the Education and Achievements Report, which leads to the Triple Crown reports, and it also ties into the Education Archive reports. New clubs, meaning brand new clubs coming into existence, along with potential clubs or prospective clubs. New club sponsors and new club mentors, that report is important, especially for members who are working toward a distinguished Toastmaster award. Speaking of working toward a distinguished Toastmaster award, club coach reports are also important as well. And then we'll look at something called additional reports, because there are gem of details there as well. Now, let me make sure that I put, again, the handout, simply because my brain is being triggered to remind myself to provide you with that handout. What I do want to ask, however, is, are you getting it? Did that handout come through for you? If so, give me a thumbs up reaction icon, or you can simply say yes in the chat box. Wonderful. I'm getting some yeses. I'm seeing some reaction icons. Good. I see some visual thumbs up as well. Appreciate it. Thank you, Daphne. I see you. Wonderful. Good. As I mentioned, as I'm walking through, you will find that the key details of the different reports will be on the handout. Now, here's the secret with that handout. It is not in the order of the reports that I will review, which means you will want to make certain that you are following along with the information, yet searching through on the handout in order to write down the appropriate names of the reports. Now, as we are still in our opening, and as you can tell, people are still coming in, I simply want to do a few housekeeping tips and tricks for us. I recognize that we are here in virtual space. Being on camera helps with the interconnectivity or the interaction. If, however, you cannot be on camera, I completely understand that. As a matter of fact, because of this session and because of the nature of what I will be teaching today, sometimes I'm going to be off camera as well. Usually, when I go over to the website, I take myself off camera. That way, I can focus on the screen itself and I'll be navigating through the Toastmasters International website. Therefore, if you don't see me, don't freak out. Just simply know that I'm doing that primarily so that way I can have an unobstructed view of my screen. Questions you can ask at any point in time. One of the primary ways is to use your raised hand reaction feature because that raised hand reaction icon is a feature that allows me to more quickly see you. If you have it, go ahead and test it out for me. Meaning, if you have it, and you might not have it because as I'm looking, I don't see it myself. Is that true for you? If so, just give a thumbs up. Hand clap, either one. Oh, look at that. There you go. I see a few people that do have. Okay, good. If you don't have the raised hand reaction icon, don't stress out about it. Simply put in the chat box your question. And if you put the phrase question before it, it'll give me a quicker way to see your response inside of the chat box. And by the way, you want to make sure, unless the message needs to come to me only, you can put your message in the chat box so everyone can see it. Therefore, it helps people to see the synergy and the connection with what you're sharing as well. Now, let me double check. Daphne, hey, I see your hand is raised. Let me confirm with you. Were you testing your reaction icon or do you have a question in this moment? I think you're on mute and I see you're shaking your head. You said, no, I don't have a question. Okay. I got you. You were testing out the raised hand reaction icon. You're speaking, I think, but I can't hear you because you're on mute. Daphne, I think technology is getting glitchy here. It seems not to be unmuting you. Let me try something. Hold on. Let me see something here.
Hi,
Hi,
thank you. I
Danica.
appreciated
You're
that.
welcome.
I'm on a phone. It's a small screen, and the buttons at the top, buttons disappear periodically. And so I was tapping to get them to reappear. I can't even lower that hand until I get the button to reappear, which
Well,
I'm trying
don't
to get it
stress
to do.
about that. I got it.
So sometimes I'm
Okay.
trying to get it to provide the thing at the bottom, but it's not. Well, sooner or later I'll lower my hand.
That's all right. Well, I already lowered the hand for you. I'm glad, though, that we know your technology is now working. I can hear you. I know you were speaking before and I couldn't hear you at all. So it's good that we are able to have the technology working now.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Thank you. Thank you. As I was mentioning, if you have a question, microphone is great. You can ask using the raise hand reaction icon. Allows me to make certain that I can give you the floor. Being able to put your question inside of the chat box will help as well. The handout, there will be links as well that I will provide to you. And as a matter of fact, one of the links that I will give to you in this moment, simply so that way I do not forget, is going to be a link for the replay. And I know that I gave that link earlier, but I want to make sure that I can give it again because a moment ago we were talking about the two videos from last month's session. I want to make sure that you have the playlist link that's coming inside of the chat box right now. At the end of the session, if you can make certain that you can give me some feedback about this session, it will also help as well. As a Toastmaster member, just like you, I'm always looking to improve upon my skills. This program allows me to use technology, which I am always looking forward to becoming better and stronger at it. Therefore, last month, we did a session and I was able to use the evaluation and feedback uh, first speech, I believe it is, for that session. Therefore, I received some great technology tips And I'm looking forward to being able to find out, how did I do with applying those tips? When you fill out the evaluation form, you'll see what those tips were that I was looking to use in order to make this presentation stronger. And at the end, as I mentioned, I will make sure that I give that link again. Yet before I start giving more details and going over to the website, let me confirm. Are there any questions for you that I have yet to answer? If so, feel free to let me know inside of the chat box. You can also raise your hand using the reaction icon to ask that question. If no questions, you can let me know inside of the chat box that you are all good, or you can use a thumbs up reaction icon to let me know that you are all good. Wonderful. I am seeing those reaction icons come in, letting me know that we are all good. We are all good because this is the place where we are now ready to start understanding the reports on the TI dashboard. This is the moment in time when we will have the opportunity to explore more about the distinguished performance reports. This is what the page looks like. The official name is the Distinguished Performance Reports. And what I am now going to do is to go over to the Toastmasters International website in order to engage us with the reports. It will also be at this moment in time when I am going to take myself off of camera. Simply again, that way I can see my screen better as I'm navigating between the various reports. And speaking of reports, go ahead and make sure that you have your handout ready. This is where we will have the chance to start reviewing the reports. Now, I like to start with the reports section on the left in the menu bar where we have the category of other reports. One of the reasons they mention these are other reports is the fact that this entire dashboard is a dashboard of reports in and of itself. If you are ever interested in knowing how many districts are in Toastmasters International, what the regions are called, this page breaks it all down and organizes it for you, and it'll give you those key details. It's fun sometimes simply to explore those details. This page, as I mentioned, is a page full of reports. I'm interested, though, in the other reports from the category of daily reports. Daily reports now has a page where you can select the reports of interest. It automatically select, well, it didn't automatically select 103. It knew I was in 103, and I had to glance up top. If you see where it says welcome Cassandra, that gives me the signal that I am logged in, and I had already navigated through some information. Therefore, it knew that I was in District 103. If, however, it did not come up with 103, you would be able to use the drop-down window and select the district that you're in. District 103 is what I'm focused on right now, and I want to look at the very first report, the April dues renewal status. This report is going to let you know the clubs that have renewed their dues in the month of April. This is going to be a report, everyone, that you will complete, or I should say, this will be a report that will be generated when your club completes the dues renewal process for April 1st, 2024. Data that we see here right now is reflecting the April 2023 reports. Simply notice the type of information that's being recorded. And for most of the reports, this format is going to be listed. The club, number, the division, letter, the area, number, and for this report, since it's about the dues, it'll let you know if it's verified complete. That means that the dues were submitted correctly, and it shows you the date that TI processed it. It gives the name of the club and the report. Is there a club that you would like for me to search out in this moment? If so, give me in the chat box a club name. And actually, you know what I'm going to do? I saw a club name that came in earlier. Let me look for Heinz Verbal Aces. One of the things that I typically do is I come over to the name column of the clubs and I'll simply toggle the up or down arrow in order to put the name of the clubs in alphabetical order. Not quite searching quickly, meaning there isn't a search window where we can type in Heinz Verbal Aces Club. Therefore, the quickest way is to toggle in the name column in order to make it either alphabetical from A or alphabetical through Z. Now, I did it A because I can get to the H's much faster. Heinz Verbal Aces, congratulations. In April of 2023, earlier this year, you got your dues renewals in on time. They processed your dues on March 17th, 2023, which gave your club a goal achieved in the Distinguished Club program. That's awesome. Give a round of applause to Heinz Verbal Aces. Use that round of applause icon. Look at that. Hey, Margaret, wonderful to have you here. What am I doing? You may be wondering, Cassandra, why are you scrolling up? Why are you scrolling down? Well, because I'm looking at this from the entire district format, meaning I'm looking at it from the entire district. Therefore, every club that is in District 103 is listed. And because, of course, I am a past district director, I'm always curious to know, how did our clubs do within the dues renewal period? And do we have any clubs that never paid their April dues? Interestingly enough, we only have one club that did not pay dues, and that's the Union League Toastmasters. You might have noticed when I was scrolling through the report, the renewal status all looked the same, meaning verify complete and a date. This is the only club that has something that looks completely different, and it specifically tells you renewal dues are not here. So the renewals are not here. If you ever look at the April reports and see that it says your dues are not there, you want to make certain that you either confirm with your club treasurer or secretary that they submitted the dues, and you may have to take it a step further to confirm with Toastmasters International that they did or did not receive the dues in order to process them. Again, I just simply looked at this list scrolling through to see what looked different in the renewal status to see if there were any clubs that did not pay April dues. That was the only one I saw. And based on the club that I looked at, Heinz Verbal Aces, again, congratulations. Very first report that I looked at was the April dues renewal status. Therefore, the second report, which is October dues, it's going to give you the same type of information except for the month of October, which means 3 months ago. 3 months ago, when all of our clubs had to renew our dues, this is the report that was generated. When Toastmasters International received dues from your club, they tracked those details, and this is the information that was created. Now, you might notice with this October report, with the renewal status column, details are not looking the same as with April. We're seeing some different phrases that are appearing in that renewal status column. I'm scrolling to the very bottom simply to allow myself to review everything all at once. Yet, you know what I'm getting ready to do? I'm going back up to the top and I'm going to toggle this to do it in alphabetical order. And then I'm simply going to, in this case, just simply see what are some of the different phrases that we're noticing that are different, phrases that you may need to be aware of for your club. Ineligible, minimum requirement not yet met. Now, that could be an indication that the membership requirement is not met. Does anyone know, or can you remember, what is the membership requirement that Toastmasters International wants a club to have? It's that minimum number that will help to say, hey, we're still a club. Yeah, look at that. Look at the magic number coming in, the number 8. When I was with my corporate club, we were below 8. We were teeter-tottering between 5 and 6 people. And back then, the number was 6. We were a struggling club for sure because we were teetering on 5 or 6 people. Now we have at least 2 more people that we can add to a list that we can say we have a club for when we have 8 members. And these messages about ineligible, minimum requirement not yet met could be a signal that the membership number is not being met. The same with this phrase of low, minimum requirement not yet met. That could be the same as well. Now, I'm going to pause for a moment because I know I also have some seasoned and knowledgeable and experienced leaders in the room who are also very familiar with using these reports as well. And I am going to ask if there is something additional that everyone needs to know about these 2 phrases that I did not mention, if you can actually add extra insight as well. If I got it and I didn't miss a beat, you can let me know with a thumbs up that I'm all good. And I'm thinking of Pat Martin, who I saw put a comment in the chat box. And I'm like, hey, Pat Martin is past district governor for District 30. Mike Rafferty is also in the house as well. Mike Rafferty is a past district governor as well as past international director. He is a past district governor for District 30 and a past international director for Toastmasters International. I say we have celebrities in the house today, everybody. Hey, Pat.
Hi.
Good. Go ahead and make your comment, Pat. I know that you unmuted. That way you can give some more insight.
You're doing great thus far. I don't have anything to add to that. Good job. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Thank you. And I'm so glad that I reached out and asked both Mike and Pat to share insight. I appreciate Pat letting me know I'm doing great. I know it's a lot of information, and she's letting me know I'm not sounding like a fire hose with throwing everything at you all at once. And I also appreciate Mike. I see the comment that Mike put in the chat box, which I'm sure all of you are also noticing as well. And I love, again, you might have noticed the 2 phrases that I pointed out, the terminology was slightly different. Mike's comment is making certain that we understand ineligible means they don't have 3 renewing ongoing members at the renewal, whereas low means that they have not yet met the 8. So when we were looking initially at ineligible, minimum requirement not yet met, and I asked the question of what's that magic number that's needed, we got 8 in the chat box. That was the correct number. Yet 8 is the number that is needed to make certain that we are not listed as low, minimum required not yet met, as this club here, the Chicago Speakeasies Toastmasters Club. They more than likely need 2 or more members. Maybe they need a little bit more than that. We can always take a look at their information. However, for the sake of this exercise, we're simply noticing the phrase. And as Mike said, low means they don't yet have 8. Now, let me scroll back to where we saw the 2 clubs in a row that have the phrase of ineligible. Ineligible, minimum requirement not yet met. As he says here, ineligible means they don't have 3 renewing ongoing members at renewal. I'm pausing to let that phrase sink in. I'm pausing in hopes that as you read the phrase and as I repeated the phrase, you can visualize what that means. Every club should be very mindful of making sure from the previous 6 months going into the new 6 months that you have at least 3 people who were members before sticking around, staying with you, and paying their dues for the new dues cycle. Ineligible means they don't have 3 renewing or ongoing members, meaning people from before didn't renew for the new due cycle, and you want to have at least 3 people sticking around to renew. Key details to be aware of. We paused on those phrases, and I think those are the only ones that are different that we didn't see in the April report. And Mike, you know I love you. I'm glad that you gave that clarification because now it adds to everyone's wisdom, insight, and knowledge. First of all, everybody, use your reaction icon of a round of applause to provide that to Mike. I'm putting mine in the chat box because I wanted to.
Cassandra,
Yeah, go for it.
can I just add what
Yeah,
I
Pat.
always do is ensure so that you meet that 3, of course, always get your officers to pay their dues first, to lead by example, and you automatically will avoid that wording ineligible.
Ooh, I'm doing the my feet are doing the happy dance, Pat. I love that nugget of wisdom.
Yes,
Everyone, who did she say get to renew first? You can say it out loud. You can put it in the chat. Yeah, how did she say we can make sure we can minimize
Officers.
officers? Yes, yes, the officers. Thank you for that. Get your club officers to renew. And as Pat mentioned, we have 8 officers when you include your immediate past club president. Most
Mhm.
clubs will think only of the 7. And as you're saying, Pat, any of those 8, any of those 7, making sure at least 3 of them are renewed will help to make certain that you can minimize having that ineligible appear.
Yes.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. And I like what Mike is saying. And if officers don't renew, they can't post payments, update officer info, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Absolutely. The Toastmasters International guidelines that you will find when you review your club leadership handbook makes mention that the club must have at least 3 club officers, a president, one of the vice presidents, and a secretary and or secretary treasurer. You need at least 3 of those. And as Mike is reminding us, if you don't have officers renewing, in essence, you may not have a club. So everyone keep in mind what the April and the October dues reports are doing. And I'm hoping that you're filling that in on your handout and you have those answers already provided. They are similar reports. They're just simply tracking a different period of time. Now let's look at another report that is similar to that setup as the dues, meaning it's tracking the same type of data, but they're tracking it for 2 separate segments of time. And that is the club officer list status. Now, here's an interesting point regarding what I did a moment ago. I clicked on the 3rd report from our list, which is the January club officers list. And when I clicked on it, it says there is no data to report for the selected district. Now I'm going to ask anyone other than Pat and Mike, our celebrities in the room, what might this mean? And before I say celebrities, I just realized our program quality director, Sandra Lane, is in the house. I'm scrolling through the gallery. Sandra, hey, I see you.
Hi.
Hi. So then Sandra is excluded from this as well. She's a celebrity too. So I'm asking everyone else who might want to take a guess at this. If we are looking at a report that's tracking January elections, January club officer list, and we don't see a club that's listed for this report, what do you think that actually means?
They haven't submitted a list.
They haven't submitted a list. Yeah. And let's even take that a little bit further. I love that answer, Blanca. Let's go a little bit deeper. What else could that possibly signify if they haven't submitted a list?
They don't have any officers.
I love it. I love it. And I'm going to use your phrase, Blanca, and add to it. They don't have any officers that they elect every 6 months. Hey, Daphne, go for it.
A biannual, some clubs are biannual.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely. Some clubs are biannual, and in this case, we don't have any clubs listed that are biannual, which must be an indication for us as a district. All of our clubs are on the annual basis. Now, let's see if that's true, or at least verify some of that truth. I am now going to the July club officer list. Now, on your handout, both of these reports are going to show up as an answer. The January club officer list is for the clubs that are selecting or electing, let me use the right terminology. They are electing club officers every 6 months. The January report for club officers is tracking every 6 month elections. July is tracking for the entire year. Notice here in the column that says election, we have annual, 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 annual. We see all annuals coming up, which means out of all of the clubs that are in District 103, we now have clubs that are electing officers every year. The list status, the list status column where it says received and the date, it's letting you know when the club officer list was received. If it says list is not here, as we see here with our PGL, NSG, Blue Flames Club, that could indicate that they are a club that's closing. It could indicate that they are a club that is closed. It could also indicate that they have not yet submitted that paperwork to Toastmasters International, although they are still a club. So there are a variety of reasons. And as district leaders, when we see this type of report, we start asking those various questions. Well, what does that actually mean? Are they a club that's closing? Do we have them on our soon to be closing list? Are these clubs that have lost their current officers and they're needing to get new officers and they have new members that don't yet quite understand the process, so they haven't yet submitted the list? So many scenarios we go through in our head, and those were only a few of the questions. Yet, what we also like is when we can go through this list and we can see that everything is received. Now, let me give everyone a nugget of wisdom. Like Pat Martin mentioned a moment ago about your officers, the July club officer list is really important because it helps the district to know who your club officers are for the new year. I am going to ask all of you who are present today to be mindful of getting your club officer list submitted for next year in May. Before District 103 does this summer Toastmasters Leadership Institute, meaning before District 103 does the summer TLI, make certain that your club officer list for July has already been submitted. And I encourage that you do it in May, because technically in May, we should be electing officially brand new club officers for the incoming year. So that means for the 2025 club year. Seems so far away in numbers, but we are right now in the end of 2023, and we will be moving into the last half of the 2023-2024 club year, which means in July, we're going to start the 2024-2025 club year. Get your club officer list submitted, and the July list tracks officers that are elected for the entire year. Keep in mind, any questions that you may have, continue to put them in the chat box. I am scanning as I'm multitasking here. I want to make certain that you don't forget you can ask questions along the way. You may have noticed that I switched the report to what is known as the Education Achievements Report. This is a fun report. Hey, Daphne, I hear you. I hear your mic is open. Was there something?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Ask? That's okay.
No. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. I say this is a fun report, and I know that our program quality director, Sandra Lane, her team is already looking at this report right now. When I say her team, I mean her team of achievement volunteers, the achievement chair, and the district director, along with our program quality director, all year they've been looking at this list. We've done something this year that's new, that's different than what we've done in the past, and maybe it had been done years ago. However, this year, what the team has done is they're recognizing members every Tuesday. Every Tuesday, the Tuesday Tidbits newsletter goes out. And if you scroll down toward the bottom of that document, you will see yourself if you earned an education award or perhaps someone from your club in that report. And that report is actually pulling the data from this report, which is the Education Achievements Report. This is showing every club, of course, all the members, what club they belong to, the date their award was processed, and more importantly, what the award was that they received. I like how I moved my cursor to IP1, and it now tells me that that stands for Innovative Planning Level 1. If you are working the Pathways Education Program, you're completing your assignments and you're submitting those notifications of those assignments being completed or that level being completed to your Vice President of Education, and your Vice President of Education is submitting those awards in Club Central, this is where it all appears. Awards submitted in Club Central on the Toastmasters International website appears here on this list. This list goes in order, and you'll notice right now it's in order of club number. We started looking at clubs that only have 3 digits. Oh, I'm just simply scrolling. I haven't even gotten to, oh, there we go. The 6-digit clubs, the 6-digit clubs. Are the 7-digit clubs coming up yet? Yep, now we're getting into the clubs with the 7-digit club numbers, meaning there are a lot of clubs. I saw a few names on this list that are here in the room today, like Cynthia Anglin. Cynthia belongs to multiple clubs. I saw her name appear a few times with different clubs. Kudos to her for getting those award levels completed. And you might see names that are repeating themselves simply because they're individuals that are either in multiple clubs and or multiple paths, and they are completing the awards. Now, I want to pause here for a moment because I see something that usually comes up, and it comes up at both the club level and it definitely comes up at the district level. At the district level, when the district is wanting to recognize a member, and the member's name does not appear as the majority of the list is showing. This example is showing that it says name is unavailable. What that means is that the individual has opted out of having their information being shown, which means their privacy settings in their profile are saying no. The district usually has to do a little bit more legwork. We have to pull a list to search by member number in order to find out who is the member of American Hospital Association that got 2 awards. And it might be 3. Let me scroll up here. Okay, they actually got 2 awards. They have an SR2 and a TC4, meaning a Strategic Relationships Level 2 award and a Team Collaboration Level 4 award. Their club more than likely knows who that individual is, and hopefully their club has already celebrated them. Yet when District 103 wants to celebrate them, we now must go through the search of figuring out who they are. The Tuesday tidbit more than likely is showing the data exactly as it's showing here, which also means when it shows up every week, we don't know exactly who that person is. So that means other people within the district may not be able to support that person and recognize them. Now, as a rule of thumb, I like to recommend that everyone takes a look at your profile, see what you're doing with your privacy settings. Are you allowing Toastmasters International to be able to contact you? Can we at least email you? Can we at least know who you are? So that way, when it comes to a situation such as this, being able to recognize your achievements, we can do that. We can do that. I am,
Cassandra?
yeah, go ahead. Is that
Yeah,
Sandra? Yeah,
yes, it
Madam
is.
PQD, go
I
for it.
was looking for the raised hand. I saw the clap. I couldn't see the raised hand, so I'm
Oh,
sorry
go
to
for it.
interrupt.
Oh, no,
But
no, you're good.
thank you so much for mentioning that, because we have this situation right now where our recognition chair, we're sending out ribbons each month as people are achieving their awards, and we have two that she cannot identify. So although I was able to answer one of her questions, I got to go back in, search for these people. And I thank you for qualifying why their names aren't showing, because I didn't understand why. So that at least helps me to understand why she's not able to see it, and then I have to go through the extra level of research or look at the data to then tell her whose award it is so she can send the ribbon out to them. So just thank you for clarifying that.
Oh, you're so welcome. And thank you for jumping right in. I'm so glad that you were able to do that because you truly confirmed that it is important that
Mhm.
people know. Oh, and it may seem for some individuals like such a small thing. Oh, you're sending me a ribbon. I really don't want to have that. That's not all that important. But for those of us who want to recognize the effort, listen, every award that a member earns helps the club, area, division, and district. And as the district, we simply want to support you in your efforts and what you do. So let us know.
Thank you for that.
And I like what Mike is saying, Mr. Mr. Pass, International Director. Thank you so much for saying the members have chosen to preserve their privacy, preventing their names from showing up in public records. That's a legal right that TI respects. Absolutely. And as we can see, Mike, you are so right about the fact that TI respects it because we can't find who they are. They show up as just a number. So for members who may have that concern and thinking that TI is doing something with their data and information that's inappropriate, I'm glad that Mike is confirming, no, they respect when you say, I want this to be private. For us as a district, we simply go through the extra step. Now, Mike says something that's really key. For those who have chosen to make their information private, as club leaders, as district leaders, we do want to respect that. What I have found though, many members don't realize that their information is private. Therefore, if you're a vice president of membership, a vice president of education, a club president, meaning any officer who can take a look at your membership roster and see if your members are listed as private, just simply tap your members on the shoulder and ask them if they chose to keep their information private. And if they say yes, leave it as such. If they say, "Ooh, I didn't realize that," then ask them to change it to what they feel comfortable allowing TI to have as the data that shows up in public reports.
Question.
Yeah, go for it, Sandra.
So to that point, then, do you think that maybe as a district officer, we should reach out to that person and confirm whether or not we should give their address to the recognition chair to send them ribbons?
In the case of that situation, as PQD, I would recommend that you do reach out to them and let them know that you have data or that you have an award that you want to send to them, and the data that you have on file, you simply want to confirm if that is something that, blah, blah, blah. Right.
Good point. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Send it to the club. I like what Mike is saying. Mike is saying send it to the club. So if you send it to the club president, and then the club president can get it to the member, or send it to the vice president of education, and the club
Yeah,
can get it to the member.
I like that. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. Thanks, Mike, for that. And I'm glad that we're still talking about awards because on the report, or I should say on the handout, one of the reports that's listed is going to refer to Triple Crowns. Triple Crowns is a coveted award that many individuals want to earn in a year because it represents that you earn 3 or more awards, that you earned at least 3 awards at one time. Let me phrase it that way, that you earned at least 3 awards at one time in a club year. Now, someone like Alice Ann Crump and Cynthia Anglin and Saeed, look at the number of awards that they have earned. 24 for Saeed, 13 for Cynthia, and Alice Ann with 16. They have been putting in the work. Yet there are many members that have put in the work with 3 awards, 4 awards, 5 awards, all earned in one club year. District 103 recognizes members with a special lapel pin called the Triple Crown Award. Toastmasters International recognizes you through this report. And if your club wants to recognize you for earning 3 or more awards in one club year, they can order from Toastmasters International the new Triple Crown Awards pin, and they can purchase that from the club's treasury and provide that to you as an award. If you are a club officer and you have the ability to influence the purchase of Triple Crown pens for your club members, I would encourage you to have your club leaders look at the shop tab, and I won't click on it now. Yet go to shop, go to pens, and you'll see the Triple Crown pen there. Yet this is a feat. This is something that many individuals are striving toward. Truth be told, I'm striving toward a Triple Crown this year. It's been a minute since I've gotten a Triple Crown, meaning 3 awards at one time in one club year. So this is a fun report to take a look at. And as you can see, not that many people are on it, which means there's still room for you. This happens every year. It's being tracked. And speaking happening every year, technically the Educational Archives Award is a good, Madam PQD. I see you also are working toward a not DTM, but that's on my brain. You're working toward a Triple Crown as well. You say you're on the road to a DTM, and that's going to be part of your Triple Crown there. So that is good. I like that. I'm pausing for a moment simply to make certain that we recognize the report that we're on. Somewhere on your handout, it's asking you a question about the report that allows you to find out details on awards that have been earned in the past. When you find that blank space, you want to make certain that you mention the Educational Achievement Archive Report. The Educational Achievement Archive Report allows you to track by years, and this report for us goes to 2003 to 2004. You can search as far back as that time, meaning you can't see names now. Not anymore, we can't. And this goes to what Mike put in the chat box earlier about the privacy. If you wanted to know, say for instance, you were vice president of education and your club anniversary is coming up, and you wanted to say, "Oh, let me put together a fun presentation for all of our members and guests to let them know which of our members, past and present, earned education awards in Toastmasters International. And I want to start with 2014 and work my way up to 2022 to 2023." Well, notice if you start at 2014, says no data is here. Oh, I know why. Being the first district director of District 103, we can't start there because 2014, 2015, District 103 did not exist. However, we were a part of District 30. So if I go here to District 30 and say 2014, 2015, and give me a club that we can look for. Who's present? Blanca, what club do you belong to? Give me your club. I heard from you earlier. Tell me your club.
CTA Toastmasters.
Oh, CTA Toastmasters. And I think we're in order, alphabetical order. Nope, we're not yet. Let me switch that. I thought I clicked it. I clicked it now. I saw it switch. Let's see. CTA Toastmasters. Who from CTA Toastmasters had earned awards? Now I'm sure there may be a faster way to do this. I sometimes do things the long way. Yet I am not seeing CTA Toastmasters. What's your charter date for your club?
I want to say 2010. I don't remember.
Oh, great. Thanks, Mike. I'll try that the next time. Control F in the browser. And you said 2020, Blanca. Okay, we started with 2014. Now, here's one of two things. You said 2010, your club was in existence, which means your club was in existence during 2014, 2015. There we go. I didn't scroll down far enough. There we go. You have 3 members that earned education awards. Someone earned an ALS, a DTM, and an LDREXC. I'm
Right.
pausing. You're welcome, Blanca. I'm pausing because I'm wondering, does anyone else besides Sandra Lane, Pat Martin, Mike Rafferty, and myself know what those are? ALS stands for Advanced Leader Silver. Thanks, Daphne. You said nope. Yeah. So the Advanced Leader Silver was a manual, and that was advanced leadership, of course. The DTM is the highest education award that a member can earn. And all of my celebrities that I've mentioned thus far, Pat and Mike and myself, we have them. We have a DTM. I mentioned I have 2 of them. I'm on my way to my third. Sandra Lane, our PQD, is working toward her DTM. And many of you may also be working toward DTMs as well. And I do see a few people that are on the line that I know that have a DTM as well. DTM again is Distinguished Toastmaster. The DTM award is the highest education award you can earn. The LDREXC is the Leadership Excellence Award. Leadership Excellence Award was provided when you completed a high performance leadership project. High performance leadership projects are now associated with different paths, but not every path and pathways. I did the innovative planning path, and there was a high performance leadership project associated with it. But some of you may have gotten to your level 5 in your path and never had to complete a high performance leadership project. Therefore, the LDR EXE no longer exists. However, the project does the assignment, the work, the education content. That's a better way of saying it. The education content of high performance leadership does still exist in pathways. Yeah, so these are different projects. Thank you, Blanca. I appreciate being able to look at a different club and seeing back in the past. This was 2014, 2015. Good, good. All right. Now, this was the educational achievement archive list. Oh, let me try something. Mike, you said in the browser, I want to test this out. Will that change? It looks like that's gonna change my address. Is that right? Mike, I'm making the attempt to put into practice what you mentioned to me. You said do Control F. Oh, let's see what that does.
And then type CTA, for example.
I can barely hear you. Is that Mike talking?
Yeah, just type CTA now.
Oh, just type CTA now.
Yeah, you see we got
CTA.
that box up there? There you go.
Oh, look
Jumps right
at
to it.
that. Boom, boom, boom. I'm learning.
Or try Hines, Hines.
Okay, try Heinz up there. Look at that. Yes, I like it. I like it. Hey. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. I like that tip. And it shows us 18 of those Heinz are there. So that's good. Good, good. Wonderful. And that's a quick way to search. Okay, I like that. That's a quick way to search. I know I'm looking for, sometimes how you're on a website and it'll give you that arrow that you can click and it'll say go directly to the top.
Right.
I think TI needs one of those features. All right.
Or you can just hit the home button on your laptop on your computer or keyboard.
Look at you. Look at you. Everybody, you all
Top
taking
right,
this in? I love it.
probably next to your backspace button.
You said do the backspace button?
There's a home button probably on your keyboard. Depends on how big your computer is. It's one of those keys that they sometimes leave out.
Yeah, I got it. That's how I got up to the top once you said it.
Okay, very good.
Good. Yeah, so thank you for that. Look, these little technological tips and tricks, and I'm so glad I'm getting this recorded too, Mike. So when I have one of those brain freezes and don't remember which feature, I'll have you telling me the voice is there. This is awesome. Now, everyone, I got so distracted and so excited about the new technological tip and trick that I done learned. Let me make sure I recap where we were. We are right now taking a look at the Educational Achievement Archive report, which is the report that allows you to look at previous year's information. Now, remember I said District 103 started in 2017, 2018, which means if you're looking for your club's data in a year prior to 2017, you would need to search under District 30. We came from District 30. That's how our data is still connected to District 30, or that's the reason why, rather, our data is still connected to District 30, because that's the district that we formed from. All right. Having said that, there are 4 more reports, and you more than likely, if you're looking at your handout, filling in the spaces, you have figured out some of these already. The new clubs report is letting you know which new clubs are in District 103 for the year. And it looks like we have Union League Toastmasters. Union League Toastmasters came up, I believe, when we were looking at the dues renewal report. I believe it was when we were looking at either October or April maybe. And they were saying, oh, we don't have the dues for them. Well, now that explains it. They're a new club. They haven't submitted anything yet. New clubs report is letting you know the new clubs that are in the district. Prospective club report is letting you know the individuals, such as organizations, whether they are a corporate organization, a church, a community club, a group. It's giving you an idea of who's interested in starting a club in District 103, and you get the data on where they are right now. You'll notice when their application to organize, which is document number 1, if that's complete. If it's not complete, you'll see other details such as their payment information. You'll see if anything is incomplete. You'll see who their contact name is, the club contact name, and you'll also see their potential club number as well. Typically, the phrase perspective is letting you know that that's a potential club, and you'll notice all the detail to give you a heads up if they are a club or close to becoming an official club. Now, why is this report helpful? It is helpful for everyone who is working towards a DTM. If you're working toward a Distinguished Toastmaster report, or not report, but the Distinguished Toastmaster Award, this report will give you insight on clubs that are forming that you could potentially help to assist. And really, I'm going to go to the true report that helps with that, and that's the new club sponsor and new club mentor report. New clubs that are forming gives the district an indication as to how many volunteers we will need to support that new club. We can support a brand new club by having members appointed as a new club sponsor, which means you can assist them with that paperwork, you can assist them with the setup. Then the new club mentor is helping with the 6 months in existence. So once that club becomes an official club, all paperwork is in, they are completed, the mentors kick in, mentors help for 6 months at a time. This list is a list that's giving us an idea of which of our members have been assigned, which of them have already earned the award, and which of the awards are pending. And you'll notice if they are pending an award based on being a mentor or based on being a sponsor. If you are in a position where you are working toward that award of club sponsor or club mentor, you want to make sure that you reach out to Sandra Lane, the district program quality director, or you can reach out to Sam Sukumar, the district director. Give them a heads up that you're going to need that appointment because they can appoint you to the clubs that are in need of sponsors and mentors. This next report, final report here, is the club coaches report. Now, club coaches are going to help those struggling clubs. Currently, it looks like we don't have any club coaches assigned. And I know that because we have everyone that's listed have already earned their club coach award.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And club coaches, club sponsors, and club mentors, by the way, everyone, you will need those leadership roles to earn a Distinguished Toastmaster Award. Remember that a club sponsor is helping a brand new club with the paperwork. A club mentor is helping a brand new club for 6 months when they first become a club. And then the club coach is helping a club that is in existence, but they're struggling to either meet the membership number or to meet the club quality where their members are earning education award and going to club officer training and submitting paperwork on time and all of that information. So these reports are all helpful reports, and I've gone through the majority of them. So give me a thumbs up if most of your list is filled out, most of your handout. Now, remember I said those questions are not listed in the order of the reports that I will show you. Yet we have gone through the renewal reports, the officer lists, the achievement reports, including the Triple Crown, and then we've dealt with those reports that are dealing with new clubs, prospective clubs, the clubs that need the sponsors to help them with paperwork, the clubs that need club mentors to help them after they have been in existence and to assist them for 6 months, and any club that is struggling to get back on track, a club coach. And typically you will get assigned a club coach if you have 12 or fewer members. 12 or fewer members. Speak it up. Speak it up. And while you do that, go ahead. Questions, put them in. Any other tips? I love the fact that Mike is putting some tips in. I'm going back over to my other tab. And I like the fact he said tip. The you sometimes see for coach or coach you and sponsor and mentor means that the work has been used for an education award. Hey, look at that nugget of wisdom. Where's my reaction icon? Mike, I'm giving you what Zoom typically calls ta-da. I'm giving it to you. I'm celebrating you. Thank you for that. That was a question of curiosity that I did have. And whenever I'm looking at it, I don't ever think to say, hey, let me reach out and find out what that actually means. That's all right. That's all right. So I love that. I love that. I love that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I was simply scrolling through. Thank you. Thank you for the comment about all of the reports that I was showing a moment ago. And let's see, let me go back over to that tab. All of the reports that I was showing here, each of these reports, you can download them into an Excel or a CSV file, which means you can export that information. For those of us who are data fanatics and we like having that information, especially if we're tracking it for our clubs to share the data for our members or with our members for our clubs only, know that you can pull it down through the report. Speaking of reports, I want to go over to the additional reports. And as I click on the additional reports, most of our members don't realize the additional reports exist. And even if they do, they may not come here often enough to take a look at information with the additional reports. This is the report that I think us district leaders actually call lovingly the Mike Rafferty report. And with Mike being here, Mike, can you give us another gem of wisdom? What prompted this report to be lovingly nicknamed after you, the Mike Rafferty report?
Well, it's because I created it way back in 2003 or so when I was
Yes.
waiting for a new club to charter, and I got tired of going to the TI website every day to check to see if it had chartered yet. So being a computer geek, I wrote a little program to do that that would then send me an email when a new club showed up. And then it just grew from there. And currently I have about
Yes.
1,100 people from around the world from nearly every district receiving these reports on a weekly basis in an email.
Yes.
And Pat, I hear thanks, Mike. And Mike, as you were talking, I heard Pat co-sign. And Pat, go ahead and share your experience with the Mike Rafferty report.
For sure, I tell you, it's just so great that we was able to get firsthand what the areas needed to become distinguished, the division, and of course, even the clubs and definitely the district. And we could go right here and look for our area number and our spot, the clubs, and find out and reach right to the clubs to say, look, all you need is one more member, one more educational goal. You could do it, make it happen. And if you couldn't do it at the club, we would definitely encourage them to go and visit other clubs to give their report. So I live by this other report. So again, Mike, thank you. It's amazing. I still go there sometime and check just to see what some of the other clubs are doing.
Kudos. And remember before I said we had celebrities in the house, I
Uh-huh.
had an indication of the fact that Mike Rafferty was the one that wrote this report, which is why we nicknamed this report the Mike Rafferty report. Yet
Mhm.
I didn't think everyone else that was here knew that. I want you all to recognize Mike Rafferty is a past international director for a reason.
Yes.
And that's
Yes.
because when he was at, I remember, and Mike is going to, if he could see me on the camera, he'd probably give me the look because I'm getting ready to say, I always tell him, I feel like a proud mama with my baby out there doing their thing. When I met Mike back in the early part of my career, remember I said I've been around it 25 years. I believe
Mm-hmm.
I was the area governor or division governor when I first met Mike, and I met Mike
Division, at least
division.
as far as I remember.
Okay, division. And we were talking about speech contests. I encourage you to participate in the speech contest.
I did, and I came in third out of four. That's the only speech contest I was ever in.
Look at that. And
Yeah.
but notice everybody, it gave him the confidence to move into other roles. He was already a club leader, which was why I encouraged him to participate in the speech contest. And after he participated in the speech contest, won an award. He won third place in that speech
Yes.
contest. He
Yes. I
then moved
remember.
on to become an area governor, a division governor, the lieutenant governor of education, or the lieutenant governor of marketing and membership, then the lieutenant governor of education and training, and then the district governor. Now, in these terms, here's what that means. He moved from the club level to become an area director, then a division
Yep.
director, then a club growth director, then a program quality director, then a district director, and went on to the international director level to become a past international director. Board member, everybody, board member of the organization in the house with us today. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
And
Thank you,
you can
Mike.
see Pat and I are we are so proud of him. Pat had the
Yes.
privilege of working with Mike, and we're gonna go a few minutes over because I'm bragging right now because I want the history of our organization, our district. We are a phenomenal district of leaders, and I'm going to give Pat an opportunity to talk about her experience of working with Mike.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Cassandra. And Mike, thank you. It's amazing how, you go to these meetings and you always want more. And I must admit, it all started one day by just simply paying my dues. And I realized, I always heard the officers say, you could go here, you could do this, and you could do that. Then all of a sudden, I realized I want everything my money is allowing me to be a part of. And that was being a member of the organization all over the world, not just in my club, but in my state. And when I go visit other clubs in different places that I was able to have access to. And then when I also had the opportunity to be a part of that, and I'm talking about being an area governor back then, being the TLI dean, being the conference club chair, being the district PR person, being the district lieutenant governor of marketing, education and training, and district governor and immediate past. So much can be done, and because of Mike, I was able to make that happen, and then to be honored to be a part of his trio team when he was the district governor. I was the lieutenant governor of marketing during that time and had a great time. And because I knew of the numbers by watching Mike and doing what he said, I was able to achieve an award at the convention for achieving that goal of being the lieutenant governor of marketing, my first big award. And I was extremely happy about that. So I'll just leave it at that. And again, thank you, Mike, and thank you, Cassandra, for this opportunity to share that.
Oh, you are so welcome. I am loving the fact that you shared the award that you received. It's very rare when you have the leaders of the district trios that have earned those education awards. And part of it is because we're tracking the data. Now,
Mhm.
let me say this, let me put this disclaimer out here about this particular award. You are not award, but report. For most of our members, again, they may not be looking at this report. However, if you are a district leader, you are going to live by this report. And you heard Pat mention that, everyone. Do I have any area directors or division directors on the line right now? If so, just give a thumbs up if you are. If you are not, no worries. I am simply mentioning this report because, as we've heard already from what Mike said, which prompted him to create this report in and of itself, I'm going back to the district summary page. This page tells you the boundaries of District 103. We are part of the Chicago and Southern Cook County area. Those are the boundaries. That is what makes us up. And then these are the main tracking factors that the district trio, the area directors. So when I say district trio, I mean district director, program quality director, and especially the club growth director. Club growth directors are tracking this information, and I know this for a fact because when I was district director, I partnered with Don Williams, who was the club growth director, and he was tracking this information every day. Then working with Ivory and his trio team, they were tracking it every day. And then being partnered with Dushan Mosley, he was tracking it every day. And he, like Pat Martin, and Mike Rafferty all earned awards for Club Growth Director. They met the numbers of membership payment and the number of paid clubs. This information on this page was extremely helpful for this. When I was
Mhm.
program quality director, I too won an award. I won an award for program quality director, being I think it's called the Excellence in Program Quality Director Award, and or Excellence in Program Quality Award. And you get it when you're a program quality director, like the Excellence in Membership Award that Pat, Mike, and Dushan received. And these awards come directly from Toastmasters International because guess what? They're tracking the data like we're tracking the data. And thanks to Mike, we were able to track the data to learn this information. Now, the award I received was based on the distinguished clubs.
You.
Clubs, going to training, clubs, being able to primarily get the education awards. Right now, 6 of the Distinguished Club Program awards are associated with pathways. If you have a club and members are not using pathways, it's almost a guarantee that you may not meet the DCP goals to ever become a distinguished club. Now, a lot of this information, and I don't want to go too fast by it, I want to make sure that you recognize these are the details that an area director, division director, club growth director, program quality director, and a district director are looking at on a regular basis. Now, I do want to mention one of the reports, two of the reports here that sometimes club sponsors, club mentors, and club coaches may look at, or members who want that DTM award, and then they need this leadership award. I'm
Mhm.
stumbling over my words here because my brain is running fast, and I'm thinking for anyone who wants to earn a Distinguished Toastmaster Award, a DTM, they have the choice. Actually, right now, Toastmasters don't give you too much of a choice. Club sponsor and club mentor are in the same category. You need one of those.
Mhm.
Club coach is in a separate category, and it's in a category with the Speechcraft and the Youth Leadership Award. I mean, Youth Leadership Program. So the Youth Leadership Program, the Speechcraft Program, and Club Coach are in the same category, and you would need one of those. But you have
Yeah.
to do, you now have to do two type of extended leadership roles beyond a club officer role or a district role in order to get your Distinguished Toastmaster Award. And this report here that I'm paused on is the report for the clubs that need coaches.
Coaches, yes.
Woo!
Wow. Wow. Look at
So
that.
Cassandra,
Yeah, Sandra.
Sandra, so I've been a coach. No, I was a mentor. So you're saying there's still something else, another one of these I would have to do? I have to do two?
You
So,
have, if you've already been a mentor, that means you
yeah.
don't have to do a sponsor role because that where that category is, mentor met that requirement. You
Okay,
want to go to the next category. The next category is going to be serving as a club coach or conducting a speechcraft program or a youth leadership program. You got to choose one of those three in
got it.
order to get that next level.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm gonna get
Mhm.
started on that.
Right. And with this list, part of the reason I paused here and I was mentioning the DTM is that sometimes in the past, I had members who had already taken a look at this list. And most of those members were people who were in district leadership, like the area directors or the division directors. And they were seeing, okay, these are some clubs that are on the list that actually need a club coach. Club coaches usually support a club until they can become distinguished at a or at least for a year. I think maybe two now. The club coach
Mhm.
program has changed a lot,
Yes.
and it is definitely giving you the chance to truly stretch your leadership skills. Yet the goal of the club coach program is support a club, get them back to the strength of having 12 or more members, and get them to a point where they can achieve at least five of the Distinguished Club program goals, which means if that club is not using pathways, that's one of the areas as a club coach. If you can get them to start using pathways, get members to start completing levels, those levels get submitted in Club Central, and Club Central starts producing awards. That is going to help the club because 6 out of the 10 are education. And let's see, can helping me with that Speechcraft module count as coaching for someone in my club? Hmm. That is a great question, Daphne. Can helping me with that Speechcraft module? And because Speechcraft is now through Pathways, I am not 100% familiar with the new format of Speechcraft. Therefore, I'm going to defer to my celebrities in the room or anyone that has used the Speechcraft program in the new format. Do you have an answer, anyone, to Daphne's question? She put it in the chat box.
I don't. This is Pat. No, I do not.
Thanks, Pat.
Unfortunately, I do not either. I'm not as familiar with the speechcraft pieces.
Thanks, Sandra.
Mm.
And when you say coaching, Daphne, I think my brain, as I keep rereading your statement, I'm being hung up on the phrase coaching. When you say the Speechcraft module count as coaching for someone in your club? Tell me what you mean
Well,
by that.
So I have signed up 5 people, and I actually signed them up as Toastmasters, but we're going to do a Speechcraft module. That is, we're going to work in a between a couple of dates certain to complete some speeches with a purpose, purpose really for which they signed up. And my understanding with Speechcraft is you need to have people working with you to assist you with getting those people through level 1 and the beginning of level 2 activities, because you're trying to drive through essentially 5 or 6 of the beginning speeches within a few month period, within 8 sessions, and that the people who help you can, for instance, alternate evaluating people, because speeches you do as part of a Speechcraft module, if they are evaluated by a Toastmaster, count as the first speeches of level 1 up to, I think, like the first 1 or 2 of level 2. I need my fellow Toastmasters at Broadview to help me, evaluate people when we do our meetings. And I guess I've already talked to some people about helping me. They're coaching, essentially. Coaching and evaluate their help, they're helping me with the Speechcraft module. So does that count as coaching?
I want to say no. My instincts are saying no. Based on what I'm hearing you say, they actually are serving more as speech evaluators. They are possibly able to use that as a way for maybe getting a leadership, or not a leadership, but completing one of those higher level educational projects and pathways, possibly, leading in my volunteer organization or something like that. I think that's what it's more for. And Mike is right. The club coach is for a struggling club. What you're describing is a Speechcraft program that has its own guidelines. You guys are following it. You're getting the assistance like you're supposed to. They are assisting you, the coordinator, by serving in various roles that you need them to serve in. And that would be what they are getting assistance for. So I don't think this is coaching in the way that that you were asking about it. And remember, the club coach is assisting the club that has low membership. They would not be using necessarily the speech. Well, they could possibly use Speechcraft to help that struggling club get new members.
True.
But the members would not necessarily be called speech evaluators wouldn't necessarily be called coaches, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
And that was my reaction to Cassandra, but because I'm not as real confident on all the requirements on Speechcraft, I didn't want to speak out of turn, but that was my immediate thought as well. So
I love it. And Mike also, thank you, Mike, for doing that. Mike put in the chat box the link for the club coach program itself. And what you would see, Daphne, is the requirements for club coach, very specific requirements for club coach, just like there are very specific requirements for the Speechcraft program. And there isn't much overlap between those.
Okay.
I do want to get, oh, yeah. And Daphne, Dushan also has something too.
You're muted, Deshaun.
Dushan, you're talking, but we can't hear you. And thank you, everyone, for sticking around. We're getting good nuggets of wisdom here. We're going to wrap this up in a few. Dushan, we can hear you now, I think.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
You can hear me?
Yes. Can you hear us?
Okay. So as you can see in back of me, the club coach, it's some requirements that you have to do. It's a huge program. It's a huge training program that you have to go through. There's reporting criteria you have to go through. So it's just not like being a coach.
Okay.
It's not that at all. And the Speechcraft program is being redone, and it has a broad piece of requirements also. So they're 2 different things.
Okay, I appreciate that. I'm trying to learn all I can about Speechcraft because that's sort of the path in the road I decided to take. So I'm doing that. It's a good membership recruitment tool as far as I'm concerned, because you're bringing people in 5 at a time. So I just wondered if there was an overlap, but if there isn't, I appreciate your help. Okay.
No, yeah, no overlap too much. And again, you'll have the opportunity to see all of that as you check those 2 links out. And you already have access. You already have access to that information. So thank you for that. And thanks, Mike. I'm clicking now on the area to-dos. This is the report that Pat Martin was referring to when she was saying, as a division governor, as an area governor, area director, division director, being able to know exactly what your reports are or what clubs need, what more clubs need, what your areas may need, and that sort of thing. Mike, I'm going to actually defer to you as well, and thank you for making certain that before we left out of here today, that you made sure that I remember to focus on this one, because I definitely wanted to do that one as well. Yeah.
Sure, this is basically just trying to put in plain English what the areas, the divisions, and the district need to do to be distinguished, select distinguished, or president's distinguished. Simple bullet points there as of today.
Cool. And I was going to ask you too, Mike, when you created this report, were you also finding the need was area and division governors didn't know quickly
Right.
what needed to be done?
Exactly. It's complicated. If you haven't lived it for several years, I helped create the current distinguished district program back when I was on the board a decade ago. It's been tweaked since then, but the basics of it, taking out the education awards and putting in distinguished clubs has been something that I helped create. So this is a way to help people understand without having to read through the manual of how the distinguished program works to see what they should be focusing on. Like if you're the area B14 director, then you want to focus on those things. Yep. To be distinguished, the area needs the pay club goal has been met, but of course you still got to get April dues in and 3 distinguished clubs in the first 2 bullets there. And then level is the next 2 bullets. And for the final level, presidents distinguish that level, 2 more bullets.
But the area directors aren't getting this level. I mean, this would have to be shared with them, correct?
As I say, I've got about 1,100 people. In some cases, I've had a district director sign up their entire deck to receive these reports. And it includes this one.
Yeah, because I wasn't getting it when I was the area director, and this would be helpful. But what I can do is at least share it with the district directors or area directors, because I've definitely shared with them that we should have a goal of at least each division shooting for 9 clubs to be distinguished. And if we do that, then we'll be distinguished. I know it's not going to happen.
It depends on the size of the division, how many clubs you need. But
and I love the fact that you're saying the area directors and division directors should get that information. I also want to remind them to explore. That's what this dashboard is for. You don't need Mike to email that to you. If you click additional reports, just like I did, here it is. Scroll to 103, go to the district summary page. That's the first page. He said, go to areas to-dos, the to-dos, bingo. They now are right there. It doesn't have to be sent to them, and they can access this 24/7, 365 of their term.
Yes.
Well,
I stayed on this page. I stayed on this page, and this is one that you need to really stay on. And I'm going to share with you also that's very helpful. If you get yourself an assistant, the area director, get yourself an assistant. Have them focus on the educational portion. You will focus on, of course, the new clubs, and stay in touch with your club. It's all about the members. If you just keep it about your members, the others will come. The club will be distinguished, the area, division, and so forth. But talk to your members. Talk to your leaders in your club to ensure they're talking to the members, that their goals are being met, and you truly will be distinguished or better at the end of the year.
Awesome, Pat. Thank you for that reminder about the leadership aspect of the area and division director roles, especially area directors, club leaders who you think would make a great area director for the future are great candidates to ask to assist. And as she said, focus on the education. This report helps you with knowing what's happening in your area. Now you can have very specific details that you can share with that assistant on what they can assist you with. Yeah. And I scrolled down to the bottom. I'm just simply scrolling through. I'm going over now to the chat box, however, because there was a different report. And I don't think I've actually seen this report before. Mike is, of course, a wealth of knowledge. So, Mike, do I need to? Oh, club
Just
number.
pick your favorite club number, put it in there.
All right, everyone. You know I can put mine in, but I want to use a different one. So give me a different club number.
Preferably an older club. There'll be more to see versus one that chartered this year.
Okay, let me do
303.
371. I don't remember who 371. Speakers Forum. Okay, there we go. Okay. Thanks,
And
Daphne.
there's your history going back 20 years almost now.
Wow.
How
Look
they've
at
done
that.
with membership.
Wow.
I love
So
this.
the
Yes.
top left red and green chart is the number of DCP goals they got each year, and the bar is
Yes.
green if they were distinguished. So you can see like that one where there's a 7, it's red. They got lots of DCP goals, but they didn't meet the membership criteria.
Definitely.
And then on the
Oh,
right is the
Wonderful.
number of paid members as of June 30th each year.
oh,
And
wow.
that's not a good trend going down, of course, in
Yeah.
No.
recent years.
Yeah.
And then the
That's
table just
true.
breaks it down year by year, goal by goal.
Okay,
Okay.
which is similar to what we were just looking at when we clicked additional reports and it went over to
Mhm.
that page and I said select 103 and then you look at the district summary page. This is that same information, just formatted slightly different.
And one of the fun things there at the bottom, where in the totals row, the last row of that table, you can
Mhm.
see you can see some totals. Like over the last 20 years, there's been 169 new members come to this club.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Look at you, just gave metrics. Oh, I got to go back. Save that link, everybody, because you know after this is over, Mike, I'm going to look up whale, right?
Yes, for sure.
And on
I
the
want to
left
look
side,
up
you can see there's been
mine.
27 CCs earned over that time, 20 ACs and so forth. And you go over to the pathways columns, you've got 11 level 1s, 8 level 2s, and so on.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
this
I
is
like this.
cool.
Yes.
Oh, look, I am so glad that you're a special guest today. Look,
Yes.
we've never seen this one, Mike. This is new
Okay.
No,
for us.
I like this. Thank you for
Okay,
sure.
so
Yeah.
where did
And then
you
there's
pull
and
this
then there's
from?
4 bullets at the bottom that compares the club to the district and all clubs in the world. So it's doing better
Oh,
than
yeah.
2/3 of the clubs
Yes.
in the district,
Yes. Wow.
but not so well on retention. It's doing better than 10% of the clubs on in terms of retention.
Okay. Wow.
So
Hmm.
DCP goals are good, members are not so good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Can we look at
Wow.
Broadview 3303?
Okay, let me do that. I just saw the feature that says run another report. Thank you all for hanging out. This is so cool.
Yes.
Just note that box on the right that lets you do it by district, division, or area. It doesn't work quite right. It's an old alignment, so I wouldn't use that one.
Okay.
Okay.
That's not. Look at you all,
Just put in a
Broadview.
club.
All right now.
Oh, that's a lot of green.
That's what I
Yes,
thought,
lot
Mike.
of
Yeah.
green. Yeah. Now you know you got to go and do 9084 Hinesburg Oasis. I want to
This is what you call a quality club, right?
there
I'd say
you
so.
go.
See?
Yes.
Yeah. And you know what? That's a good point. That Sandra, was that you that said that made that comment about a quality club?
Yes, it was.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. Visually, because of the way you designed this report, Mike, we can now see this much easier. We said you
At a
immediately
glance.
said all that
Is
green.
the club getting better or worse too?
Getting better. Way
Better?
better.
Yeah.
Pretty consistently green.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I'm looking here at the bottom, the 4 bullet points that he mentioned.
Uh-huh.
Look at 90s, 70s, and 80s in those numbers.
Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Go-to report for me. Ooh.
All
Very
right.
Christmassy.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Yes. And you know
All
what?
right,
And I'm glad you
pull
said
up
that because I
whale, and
feel.
then I better let you wrap up.
Oh no, where I'm
Okay.
gonna go with who said Heinz Verbal Aces 9084, right?
9084.
9084.
Yes.
Well, everybody, this was not on your handout. This is the bonus report.
Wow,
Amen.
look
Look,
at that.
look, no
Wow.
reds up top in either one of those spaces. Look at Heinz.
Yes, that's why we've been where we've been. This is awesome. I have to take this link and definitely share it with the club members. Oh my God. Wow.
205 members.
Mm.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Let's see. Look down below here. Yep, the 90s, the 80s, the retention numbers there. Yep, this is good.
Very
Mhm.
good. I like that. Thank you, Mike, for sharing this for real.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, so I'll take a peek
Okay.
at Wayo. Let's see what
Y-
Wayo is doing.
Yes, just go for it. Yes.
Okay,
Ooh,
okay.
okay. Yes.
Yeah,
It looks
yeah.
good.
The
Wow,
2 years when we didn't get
176.
anything. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Wow. 176. That's awesome.
176. Look at that.
Yes. Wow.
Now I'll
Look
have
at
to
the
go through
green.
my Excel spreadsheet and try and do a total. This is awesome.
Oh, for sure. Okay. And the 80s and 90s. Wow, you guys are doing great also.
Yeah, yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, Cassandra, thank you so much. Mike, thank you also.
Yes.
Really good.
You all are so welcome. I'm so glad that the celebrities were in the house, and this is an extended. So, for those of you who will be watching this via recording, just know that you got some gems of information that were way beyond what I had even planned for today. Listen to the questions that were asked, listen to the comments, especially the comments from the celebrities in the room today. They gave some nuggets of information to help with your leadership. I am going to make sure, everyone, that I put in the chat box for you the link again for the replay, because, of course, we have a lot of details that we can give for the replay. And I'm also going to give you the link for the dashboard too, just to make it easier. And that way, I know, Madam PQD, you were making comment regarding how can people get the information. So if they just simply go to the dashboard link, they can access all of the report links that we went through. And as I'm grabbing links, tell me, everybody in the chat box or verbally, you can unmute and you can let me know, what did you get from today? I know I'm getting some wows and some gifts. Yeah, I'm curious to know, how was this for you, especially because you stuck around. I think it was worth your time. Yet let me know specifically something that you got that you will either share with someone or that you're going to use. Thanks,
This
man.
is
Yeah, go ahead. Go for it, Daphne. I hear you.
Oh, I was typing. I just said I enjoy being able to envision some personal goals, in, like they said, in dreams begin responsibilities. So I like to, I like being able to look ahead to what ideally should be done, because then I start planning how to get there. So
I like
that's
that. I like that. Thank you for sharing that comment. That's so cool for you to say that. Yeah, and I see the great comments that are coming into the chat box there as well. So yeah, this is good. This is good. Let's see. Here is, as you're continuing, don't stop your flow. Keep putting your comments in. I'm glad that I'm seeing lots of comments about sharing the information, being able to envision. Got some awesome information. I want to give you something very specific to do. Now that you know about the reports, and especially if you have blank spaces on your handout, continue to explore and review. Go not only to fill out the handout from today, but I want you to make certain that you put in your regular practice. We have 2 more quarters left of this club year. So make certain that by March and before June, that you're looking at those reports to see if your club's data is accurate, that you're also making the attempt to look at this information a lot more frequently on a monthly basis, if possible, to make certain that whatever role you have, whether you're a club officer or a district officer, you're looking at the appropriate reports to help you. And especially if you're an area director about to go and visit your clubs, use the distinguished performance reports. Go out to the dashboard and look at those clubs specifically. You may have noticed that the us celebrity members, we typing in numbers. Hey, type in 9084, put in 3303. We're all excited. We want to see how are our clubs doing. Area directors, I want you to do the same for your clubs. If you know you're about to visit them, put their number, their club number in any one of these reports and see how they're doing. And especially the bonus report that Mike shared with us, that's going to give them a longevity view. And you don't have to start switching between years like I was doing that one time when I said, ooh, let's look at 2014, 2015. But we were part of District 30 as opposed to 103. Mike's bonus report gave us the chance to put the club number in, see all of that information, all years in one place, and visually get a perspective. So share that information with the clubs when you visit them, and on a monthly basis, make certain that you're staying informed. Overall, just use the reports to stay informed. Make sure that you are not missing out on those details. And if you are going to your clubs to visit, and this tip is even for members, watch the replay to figure out what is the strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of your clubs. And you'll find the previous month's session, most recent videos that are there on the replay page. I just want to make sure that when you give me feedback, let me know your thoughts on how I use technology, because that's definitely the tip that I received. And if you have any questions in the future, any ideas that you want to see in this program, shoot me an email and let me know. Give me a yes or a no if you thought that the dashboard can be a valuable resource to help you and your club to have a better success. Give me a yes or a no. Do you think that the dashboard performance reports can help you to be successful? I'm so glad that you did. Even before I typed 771880 into that bonus report by Mike Rafferty, my club definitely figured it out. 2 of those years, we had the red. We did not meet any goals. But once we started to understand how to use the various reports of the Toastmasters International dashboard, we started to have better success. Now we are a President's Distinguished Club, just like Heinz Verbal Aces. Sometimes we get all 9 or all 10 goals, and other times we only get 9. Yet we strive to be President's Distinguished. Everybody using pathways, all officers getting trained, every report that needs to be in for dues, and all officer lists must be on time. We make the attempt to meet all 10 of those goals plus some. So one day we want to make sure that your club can be on the stage receiving an award for distinguished effort, just like Broadview and Heinz and the Wrightwood Ashburn Overcomers Way Old Toastmasters Club. And we'll see numbers increasing from there. CTA has even been on the stage as well. So Blanca, take that message back to your club as well. CTA has been there on the stage before, and we want to continue that, right?
Yes, definitely.
Good.
Ah,
Well, thank you all. I say hugs to everybody. I am your past district director and senior advisor, and I always chuckle because of Ivory giving me that name. No, and I'm Cassandra Lee, everyone, known as your diva of dialogue, because I use divine inspiration vocally applied to educate and empower you on personal growth and career success and Toastmasters leadership. Go out, be well, have a fantastic holiday season. And until 2024, keep a lookout as to what we will cover in our next Senior Advisor Webinar Series session. Take care, everybody. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank
session.
you. Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome.
Oh, Cassandra, that was absolutely wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.